Spade Cosplay, but you can call me Spade, and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be doing another tutorial. We're going to be learning how I made my hoop skirt for my Renea costume. This tutorial is going to require a little bit of math, and it also requires a sewing machine, so keep that in mind when you're making your costume. My last tutorial was a little bit sloppy, so I made sure to put some extra effort into this one to make it as best as I could. The version of Renea that I did was the dancer version from Fire Emblem Heroes, the app. The version I'm going to be doing today is for the classic Renea costume, which I will be creating on this channel. Without further ado, let's get crafting.
Here's the hoop skirt that I made originally for my dancer Renea. The skirt has 2 layers. It's surprisingly able to hold up to both layers. It's very sturdy. Here are the materials you'll need. Scissors, several different sizes of ribbon, both thick and thin, pins and needles, a sewing machine, of course, your reference picture, and boning. I got my boning from Amazon. I like to start by making a sketch of the hoop skirt. The hoop skirt I'm making is going to be comprised of 3 layers. The bottom piece, the middle piece, and our waistband, which is just going to be ribbon. Start by measuring the circumference of your waist. It shouldn't be too tight. You should be able to move it around and fit some fingers in it. Now for the math. My math is a little funky, so bear with me. My waist was 27 inches. I'm going to take the 27 and multiply it by 2.1, giving me around 56 inches. This will be the length of my middle hoop. I'll then add 1.1 inches to my 2.1. You'll do this for every hoop that you have. I'll take the 3.2 I got and multiply it by the 27. Giving me around 80? My math isn't the best. Let me double check that. Alright, so the actual calculation, my bad, I'm not the best, is 86 inches. For each layer, you're going to want to multiply that by 2, because you'll need 2 of each strip. Let's go back to the waistband. I'm measuring out on my thicker ribbon the 27 inches I need, plus 2 inches for seam allowance at the ends, so in total 29 inches. I then fold inwards and stitch either side. Wrap the waistband around your waist, pinning it in place. You'll want the ugly side, meaning the side we stitched, facing outwards. Start pinning your ribbon around your waistband. It should reach the length that you want, plus your forearm length. Place each band around the same width apart from each other. Eventually, you will become an octopus. I even ended up using 8 strips. I actually ran out of my first ribbon, so I had to cut into my second supply of ribbon, but that's alright. When you're finished, it should look something like this. Now's the time if you want to edit any of them and scoot them to the side to make room for others or to make sure they're evenly spaced. I then bring it over to my sewing machine. Using a double stitch, I go across all of the pieces of ribbon that we attached. The double stitch is to make sure nothing comes out of place. Then, cut off the excess ribbon. Fold the ribbon and stitch on the open side. You only want to stitch on the open side. You'll then want to take your thinnest ribbon and run it through the center, all the way to the other side. You should leave around 11 or 12 inches on either side, so you can tie it closed. Then simply stitch either side closed, leaving your ribbon hanging out. And now you can become that octopus you've always wanted to become. Now time to cut our plastic boning. Start with the middle loops. Measure out how much you need. For me, it was the 56 inches. So I'll measure out 56 inches and I'll cut a piece. Then I'll do it again and cut a second piece. Repeat this exact same thing, but with your bottom measurement for the bottom loops. I will warn you though, this material will try to fight you. Don't let it win. Afterwards, be sure to wrap your material back up. Otherwise, it'll lose its shape and you won't be able to go into circles as well anymore. Match up the corresponding pieces of boning. The boning has this material part on either side of it. You'll want to stitch on that part. Stitch the boning pieces together. Then stitch the ends together to create a full circuit. One hoop done, repeat the same thing but the second one. Back to the octopus. I'm putting mine on my mannequin. If you don't have a mannequin, you can still do it. Just make sure you have a measuring tape with you. Measure out half of the length that you want for the length of your hoop skirt. Then, mark it with a pin. Do this all the way around. This is where we'll be placing our middle hoop. If you're adding more than 2 hoops and your skirt is longer, then you'll just want to divide the entire length of the hoop skirt that you plan to do by the number of hoops that you have. This will tell you how far down you need to pin for each hoop. Each hoop should be equally spaced apart. To pin the ribbon, I place the ribbon behind the boning. I then take the bottom part and fold it over the top part. It should look something like this. Now that that's done, back to the sewing machine. Then, on either side of the ribbon, stitch it down to the boning. It should look something like this. Repeat the same process with the lower hoop. Afterwards, cut off the excess ribbon. Stitch it down, and then you're done. You got yourself your hoop skirt. This can be done in long hoop skirts, short hoop skirts, either works.
For the costume I'm working on, there's a bunch of tutorials I can do for it, such as the petticoat. So look out for those. That's it for today's video. Thank you all for watching. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Remember to get some rest, eat some food, take your medications, and I'll see y'all later. Bye!